about connecting to the heart of your child through play. At ETC, we believe that every interaction that we have throughout the day is an opportunity to build connection. But if we're truly honest, not all of those are fun. And so when you think about building connection, play is really the pay dirt of attachment, because we have an opportunity to meet our kids in a state of rest and when they're most open to us, to themselves, to new ideas, new thoughts and feelings. Dr. Stuart Brown wrote a book on play. It's called Play, and he introduces 8 play personalities that we want to talk about, because not all of us play the same way. So you may be thinking about one particular style when you think to yourself, I'm not very good at playing with my child. As we go through these play personalities, think about which play personalities are represented in yourself and in your children. The Joker is the play personality we probably most think of when we think about playing. Jokers are funny, they're silly, they're nonsensical, maybe even sometimes they play practical jokes, although not me. Please do not play a practical joke on me. And that brings us to the potential problem with the Joker play personality. Sometimes they have trouble reading the room. Their flavor of humor may not be funny to someone else, or it may not be the right time for it. So if you're a joker or you have a child who's a joker in your family, try thinking about how you can teach reading the room. In order to build connection with your child through joking, think about ways to bring humor and silliness throughout the day. So the way this looks like in my family is perhaps I'm going to use a silly voice to give a direction. I'm going to say it in a British accent, or I'm going to say it in a robot voice. If I'm asking a kid to try it again, maybe I'm going to do it with some silliness and lightheartedness. We have a lot of inside jokes in my family, things we've picked up from TV shows and movies that we've enjoyed, from music. Maybe I'll sing a bar of a song that we all enjoy, or even some difficult moments that we've had in the history of our family that are now kind of funny to us, and we can say one of those inside jokes and kind of bring some levity to that moment. If you guys have ever watched the cartoon Bluey, you have seen those parents in a Joker personality. They just have a lightheartedness about them that they bring to the moment with their children. Watch a couple of those episodes and look at the way that they bring humor into the interactions with their children. The kinesthete is all about movement and physical activity and exercise. They love to move, they love to get out and do. So if you think about a kinesthete in your family, whether it's yourself or your child, they might have trouble sitting still. They're not a huge fan of a long board game like Monopoly unless it involves some getting up and moving around, okay? I signed a kid up for ballet once thinking, oh, this kid loves moving, they're going to love ballet. Well, guess what? The kid hated ballet, and I was scratching my head about it until I realized she had to stand in line to wait to do all the things they were teaching her. And that was the deal breaker for her in ballet. So think through how to get your kinesthete moving. And if they're having trouble, are they able to move enough to their play needs? A way to build connection with your kinesthete is to do something active with them while you're talking to them. Go on a walk, play ping pong, do a side-by-side activity. Play active games requiring movement with your whole family. So they may not be one to sit down for a board game, but they might love a game like Nerds or Spoons that has them getting up and moving around the table with lots of fast action. Overall, go do something. Get out of your house and go play elsewhere. The competitor is all about winning and success and even motivating others. Over here at the ETC offices, we play games sometimes and it can get pretty intense. I think we have some competitors on staff. If you are a competitor, you might contribute to some conflict in your house if you always have to win. And something we see with competitors is that sometimes they're unwilling to take risks or try something because they're worried they won't win. So Here's a way that you can build connection with your competitor. Make ordinary tasks into a competition. Ooh, I wonder if you can do that faster than you did it last time. I wonder how long it will take you to do this or that. Play win-win games with your family. So there are some board games that require working together to win. Look for those games like that. Even if you think about putting together a puzzle, everyone has pieces to add to that. No one's really losing. And if you let your competitor put in the very last piece, then they're going to feel like they won the puzzle. Also, you can motivate your family to play with a competitor, because if each side wins, then everyone can win. So maybe the winning side or the winning person gets to pick the restaurant that everyone goes to. Those are ways that the whole family can win if the competitor's playing. Also, turn losing into a competition. Can you have a special handshake or high five or touchdown celebration that you do only if you lose? Can you try and see how often the person can lose and try and make it a game? These are things that we can do to help our competitors. Take 57. You're a director. You enjoy being in charge, planning, and orchestrating. I very much identify with this one, guys. Not everybody sees this as a play style. So as you're thinking about the director play style, start thinking about that bossy kid, that selfish kid, that controlling kid, the kid that feels like they're trying to take over your authority. Could they be making a bid for connection, a bid to play with you? Directors just love the opportunity to be in charge. And so if you're connecting with a director, or if you are a director, build connections by giving them opportunities to be in charge of the situation. Let them push the grocery cart, let them hold the zoo map, or make the agenda for the afternoon or the play date. Does this sound specific? It's because it is. That these are all things that have happened in my house. Not only do I connect with this idea of the director, but I also have a child who connects that way. And so sharing that directorship can be a way that we play together. I have a friend that even allowed her child to plan her entire 11th birthday party. And the friend was like, I don't know how this is going to go. It sounds a little, it could go either way. But the child loved it because she got to plan every single part of it. And that was what was fun for her. Also, something else that can be fun for directors is allowing them to plan for fun. So allow them to plan a fake vacation. I do this all the time. You can't imagine all the fun places I've been. I've just taken fake vacations. Allow them to make lists or put things on the calendar or plan a capsule closet. Planning and directing can be really fun for a play personality like that. The explorer is all about new experiences. They love the novel. They love the unseen, the undone. They want to go learn, do, see, experience exciting things. They love novelty. Whereas kinesthetes are placing an emphasis on doing, explorers are placing an emphasis on the new. They want to do something they haven't done before and see something new. This can sometimes be misunderstood as being ungrateful for what they have or being discontent. So if you have a kid or you yourself are the kind of person that wants more and more and more, consider, is this an explorer play personality? Is this the way that they play? And you can build connection with them through the ways that you find to bring excitement or novelty to the mundane. So rebrand or add an unexpected element to your normal routine. My family is not a big fan of leftovers, but my fridge needs to get them out and I'm not going to eat them by myself. And so I have rebranded leftover night to magic leftovers. What that looks like in my family is I'm going to dump that spaghetti into a casserole dish, put cheese on it, melt it, and voila, magic leftovers. And somehow the fact that it is something new and not exactly what they had makes it acceptable for the night's dinner. So think about doing that with any life experience for an explorer. Give them something to look forward to. Even if you're more structured like I am, make a plan to surprise them. And it's great to give experiences versus things to an explorer. They just love to get out and do new things. And remember, you can explore through books and movies too. You don't always have to leave. The collector loves assembling, curating, maintaining. They could collect items, but they could also collect experiences or information or insights. Think about the people in your life that love a good collection. Now, when you think about those people, you might also think about something that can happen with collectors. They can tend to be messy, and they can contribute to clutter, and they could even possibly hoard and have trouble getting rid of some of their collected things. I have a nature collector in my family, and we have nature collections everywhere. But if you're like me, you might not always want what's in the outdoors to come inside. So we have a box outside of our front door and a box outside of our back door. And I have made peace with the many installments that, the art installments that happen on my front porch or in my backyard with those curated collections of nature. You can build connection with a collector by using their current interest to connect with them. Ask them about the thing they're interested in. Let them tell you all the things they know. Let them show you all the things they've gathered. Support them in learning how to curate their collections, given the time, financial, and space limits and constraints that you have. But make space for them. Find ways to allow those collections to exist in your home. Just a pro tip, taking photos of collected items can save a lot of space. So maybe they want to create a photo book of the collection, and that can take up a lot less space. We have friends that gave their kid a hobby allowance for their collections. All their other kids did after school activities. This one kid preferred to collect something. And so they used what they normally spent on the extracurricular activities and gave this child a hobby allowance. Those are great ways that you can support your collector. The artist loves to invent, design, create. They love to transform something from one thing into another. Now, like collectors, they can tend to be messy and disorganized as well, or the things that they see as art may not be seen as art by other people in the family. So be aware of that as you try to connect with your artist through play. When you're connecting and building connection with an artist, try using art to express emotions and feelings. There are different ways to do that. You can use illustrations or other types of art to spark conversations. How do you think the man in that photograph feels? How do you feel when you see that painting? Also give opportunities to let your artist express creatively within the constraints of your home. So in the same way as the collector, is there a space for the artist to create? And do they have different mediums that they can experiment with? There's a place here in our town where you can go and use all the glitter you want, and it stays in that place. I think that's amazing. But what if our homes were like that too? You know, maybe you don't want glitter all over your home. I know that my husband doesn't. And I don't either, but is there a place where you can go, a corner of the backyard that's the glitter spot, or wherever else? What other medium that your artist loves to play with? And how can you meet them in that space and get a little dirty too? Storyteller is also a type of play personality that you might commonly think of when you think about playing, because they are all about the imagination. When you see kids playing pretend, they are involving some type of storyteller play personality. They love creativity, imagination, and stories and narratives. If you have a storyteller in your family, you may struggle to determine what is real and what is false from what they're saying. And you might worry that they are lying or that they don't know what the truth or reality is. So a quick fix for that is when your storyteller is telling you something really imaginative, try just asking, is this a real story or a pretend story? And then go with them into the real story or into the pretend story without any extra, just go there with them. You can also build connection with the storyteller by finding ways to process their life, their routines, their problems through storytelling. I had a kiddo who went through a difficult experience and she wasn't ready to talk about it. She didn't want to talk about it, how difficult it was. But do you know who wanted to talk about how difficult it was? Bunny, because Bunny had been with us in that difficult experience. And Bunny had some feelings about it too. So I got to hear all about how my child felt through the experience of her bunny. And you can play pretend in this type of way to engage your children in a deeper level. Play games like Two Truths and a Lie, or take turns making up a line of a story to build connection with your storyteller. Play pretend, read great stories, make up stories with them, and show interest in the stories that they tell. Are you listening to all of these descriptions and starting to feel a little worried that you might have multiple personalities? Well, don't worry. Most of us are not just one play personality. We all have a mix of these varying play personalities within the way that we play. So as you think about yourself and what you prefer, find ways to play with the people in your life in your certain styles. Find ways to connect with them. And particularly as you think about connecting to the heart of your child through play, think about what makes them feel most at rest, what makes them feel most open to the world and the people around them, and then find ways to connect with them in those styles. In your family, do you each have a way to play together as a family and feel accepted and belonging and open to each other? Find ways to cultivate that. And in doing so, you're going to build attachment and create a culture of play in your family.